Single dad janitor yelled, "Don't get in the elevator." The CEO showed up at his door in tears. The moment the old elevator screamed like a wounded animal and lurched between floors, the single dad janitor ran down the hallway and yelled with everything left in his lungs, warning people not to step inside. Most ignored him. Some laughed. One powerful man nearly didn't listen at all. And that single decision would change every life connected to that building forever. Before this story goes any further, take a second. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet heroes the world often overlooks, please like this video, comment, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel. Stories like this only live on because of people like you. Every morning before sunrise, Daniel cleaned the glass towers of the city while most of the world slept. He wore the same faded blue uniform, the same worn shoes, and carried the same weight in his chest everywhere he went. He was a single father raising his 8-year-old daughter alone after losing his wife to illness, and every night he returned home with sore hands, aching legs, and a smile he saved just for her. His job as a janitor barely paid the rent, but it gave him health insurance and stability, which mattered more than pride. People rarely noticed him. Some didn't even see him as human. He was just part of the background, pushing carts, mopping floors, and emptying trash while executives hurried past without eye contact. That morning felt different from the start. The building's main elevator had been acting strange for weeks, jerking slightly, groaning louder than usual, stopping a little too hard. Daniel had reported it more than once, but maintenance delays were common. Costs were always reviewed. Approvals always took time. As he cleaned near the elevator bank, he noticed something that made his stomach tighten. The floor indicator flickered. The doors trembled. The cable sound inside the shaft didn't sound right. It wasn't technical knowledge that warned him. It was instinct, sharpened by years of paying attention because nobody else did. As employees began filling the lobby, Daniel placed his cart in front of the elevator and waved his arms, shouting for people to wait and take the stairs. Some frowned. Some rolled their eyes. A few laughed at the janitor acting like a security officer. He could feel their judgment burning into him, but he didn't move. He kept warning them, his voice cracking with urgency. Then a group of executives arrived, surrounded by phones and schedules. Among them was the CEO of the entire company, a man known for his authority and sharp efficiency. The elevator doors slid open as if mocking Daniel's fear. For a moment, it seemed like his warning would be ignored completely. Then the elevator dropped. Not far. Just enough. A violent shudder. A scream of metal. The lights went out for seconds that felt like minutes. Panic erupted. When the elevator finally stopped between floors, people inside were shaken, crying, injured, but alive. Emergency alarms echoed through the building. The lobby froze in stunned silence. The CEO stood pale, staring at the closed doors, realizing he had been seconds away from stepping inside. The investigation that followed revealed what Daniel already knew in his bones. A cable had nearly snapped. If the elevator had been full or moving faster, lives would have been lost. Daniel didn't give interviews. He didn't celebrate. He returned to work the next day, quietly, like always. He didn't know that security footage of him blocking the elevator and shouting warnings had reached the executive offices. He didn't know that the CEO watched that footage late at night, over and over, seeing something he hadn't seen in years, someone who cared more about others than about embarrassment, status, or consequences. Weeks passed. Life returned to routine. Daniel worried about rent. His daughter needed new shoes. The washing machine broke. Hope felt like a luxury item. Then one evening, after dinner, there was a knock at the door of his small apartment. Daniel opened it to find a man standing there in an expensive coat, eyes red, face strained with emotion. It took a second to recognize him without the suit, without the power, without the crowd. It was the CEO. The man stepped inside, overwhelmed by the cramped space, the children's drawings on the wall, the smell of home-cooked food. He looked at Daniel not as a janitor, not as an employee, but as a father, a human being. Tears fell freely as the CEO struggled to hold himself together. He had come not with cameras or press, but with gratitude and shame. He admitted that he almost ignored the warning, that he had spent his life walking past people like Daniel without seeing them, and that the thought of what could have happened haunted him every night. What followed changed everything. The CEO didn't just offer thanks. He offered opportunity. He paid for Daniel's daughter's education. He promoted Daniel into a safety oversight role, recognizing the awareness and responsibility he had shown when no one else did. He funded overdue repairs across all company buildings. But more importantly, he changed how people were treated. Janitors were included in safety meetings. Voices that were once ignored were finally heard. All because one man refused to stay silent. Daniel's life didn't become perfect overnight. He still worked hard. He still carried loss. But something inside him healed. His daughter slept easier. His shoulders felt lighter. He had proof now that doing the right thing, even when no one respects you, still matters. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you of someone who works quietly, struggles silently, or loves deeply without recognition, please take a moment near the end of this video to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your engagement helps stories like this reach people who need them most. And before this story ends, we have one special request. Please comment the word respect below if you believe every job deserves dignity and every voice deserves to be heard. Because sometimes, the people who save us aren't wearing suits, standing on stages, or giving orders. Sometimes, they're the ones pushing a mop, raising a child alone, and shouting a warning that saves lives, even when the world laughs.